The night was colder than usual, the kind of cold that crept into your bones and reminded you that winter was no respecter of anyone's hardships. Sam Walker pulled his old leather jacket tighter around himself as he closed the door to his modest home. The small house sat on the edge of town, worn but warm, a place where he and his 7-year-old daughter, Emily, tried to rebuild their lives one quiet evening at a time. Sam had grown used to life's cruel surprises. Once a promising engineer with a thriving career, everything had collapsed 3 years earlier after a sudden layoff. The company that had once been his dream turned into a nightmare when ruthless decisions from its CEO stripped him of his job, his savings, and nearly his dignity. He never forgot her name. Catherine Hale. The woman who had spoken words like a dagger. "We're restructuring, and unfortunately, your department is no longer necessary." That night, though, Sam wasn't thinking about her. His thoughts were on Emily, who was fast asleep in her room, clutching the worn teddy bear she refused to let go of. He was just about to turn off the porch light when he heard it, soft footsteps, uneven, hesitant. Then came the sound of muffled sobs. Sam froze. Out here, at this hour, it was unusual for anyone to pass by. His hand instinctively tightened on the doorknob, torn between caution and curiosity. He leaned forward and saw her. A woman, stumbling, her face bruised, her hair tangled and wet from the light drizzle. Her clothes were torn, her lips swollen. She looked like she had run for her life. Sam's instincts overpowered his hesitation. Without a second thought, he rushed forward and caught her before she collapsed onto the porch. Hey, you're okay," he whispered, lowering her carefully onto the bench outside. "You're safe here. I've got you." The woman's eyes fluttered open, just for a second. "Please, don't let them find me," she muttered, her voice breaking, before losing consciousness. Sam didn't think twice. He carried her inside, laid her gently on the couch, and covered her with a blanket. He checked her pulse. It was steady. Whoever she was, she had clearly been through hell. For hours, Sam sat in the old armchair across from her, keeping watch. Something in him couldn't leave her unattended, even though she was a stranger. He thought about calling the police, but the terror in her eyes before she passed out replayed in his mind. Whoever she was running from, she didn't want the authorities involved. Morning came, and with it, Emily's curious little footsteps padding into the living room. "Daddy, who's that?" she asked softly, pointing at the woman. Sam rubbed his tired eyes. "Someone who needed our help, sweetheart. We'll let her rest." When the woman finally stirred, sunlight revealing her face more clearly, Sam felt his breath catch in his throat. Recognition hit him like a punch. The strong jawline, the sharp cheekbones, the unmistakable presence. Even bruised and broken, he knew her. Catherine Hale. The CEO who had ruined him. Sam's first instinct was anger. His chest tightened, memories flooding back, the day he came home jobless, the weeks of unpaid bills, the nights Emily asked why mommy wasn't coming back, as his wife couldn't handle the pressure and walked away. All of it traced back to Catherine's decisions. And now, here she was, lying on his couch like some fragile bird with clipped wings. He stood there, fists clenched, torn between rage and compassion. Catherine opened her eyes, disoriented, and when she saw him, she flinched. But instead of her usual air of control and superiority, fear clouded her gaze. "Where am I?" she croaked. "My house," Sam replied flatly. "You showed up half dead on my porch." She blinked, her lips trembling. I didn't mean to." "You shouldn't be here," he cut in, bitterness seeping into his tone. "Of all the people in the world, why my doorstep?" Her confusion deepened. She tried to sit up but winced in pain. "I didn't know, I just ran, I didn't know where else to go." Sam's jaw tightened. He wanted to throw her out, to tell her she deserved every bruise and more for what she had done to him. But then Emily appeared again, carrying a glass of water in her tiny hands. "Here, miss," Emily said softly, handing it to Catherine. The woman's eyes watered as she accepted it, whispering a broken, "Thank you." Sam's heart twisted. Whatever his feelings, his daughter was watching. He couldn't teach her cruelty, not when she had already seen too much of life's hardships. So he stayed silent. He let Catherine drink. He let her rest. But inside, a storm was brewing. Days passed, and Catherine remained in the house, too weak to leave. She barely spoke, only whispering apologies for being a burden. Sam avoided her whenever he could. burying himself in work and chores. But Emily was drawn to her, often sitting by her side, chatting about school, or showing her drawings. One evening, Sam walked in to find Catherine crying quietly as Emily hugged her. Something about the sight unsettled him. Catherine wasn't the cold, heartless executive he remembered. She was fragile, broken, human. Finally, he confronted her. "Why are you here, Catherine?" he asked sharply. She looked up, guilt shadowing her face. "Because I had nowhere else to go." "That's not an answer," he snapped. Her voice shook as she spoke. "The board, they turned against me. The same company I built, they decided I was no longer fit to lead. And worse, my husband, he didn't take it well. Her voice cracked. He did this." She gestured to her bruises. Sam's chest tightened. He hadn't expected that. Catherine wiped her tears, forcing herself to meet his gaze. "I know who you are, Sam. I know what I did to you. I made decisions without thinking about the lives behind the numbers. You were one of them. I ruined you, and now, look at me. Karma came back." Sam didn't know what to say. For the first time, he saw not the CEO who had destroyed his life, but a woman broken by her own choices and circumstances. A woman stripped of everything: power, pride, safety. And he realized something. Holding on to hatred wouldn't heal him. But kindness, maybe it could. That winter turned into a season of unlikely healing. Sam let Catherine stay. At first, it was reluctant, but soon, he began to notice small things. How she helped Emily with homework, how she cooked meals as her strength returned, how she never complained even when the nights were cold. Slowly, their conversations shifted, from tense silences to hesitant words, then to honest exchanges about regrets, pain, and second chances. Catherine admitted her mistakes, over and over, her voice trembling with remorse, and Sam, though still scarred, found himself listening. One evening, as they sat by the fire, Catherine whispered, "You saved me when you had every reason not to. I don't deserve it." Sam looked at her, really looked at her. "Maybe not. But my daughter does. She deserves to grow up seeing kindness, even when it's hardest." Her eyes filled with tears. For once, she had no words. And in that silence, something shifted.